I spent about 18 months sleeping beside John McCain on a concrete slab the last 18 months of the war, so I got to know him pretty well. And I've been supporting him since 2000. He is a dear friend. I am biased. I have no objectivity about John McCain whatsoever, but I'm a Marine. And we sort of like leadership. It's something that we stake our future on leadership. We appreciate leadership. We train young men and women to be leaders. And I'm not talking about officers. I'm talking down at the Lance Corporal level to be leaders. This country is in desperate need of an experienced, tested leader. This is probably blasphemy, but I'm going to mention it anyway. Ulysses S. Grant was once spoken of by one of his generals when asked, why is Grant so effective? They said, Grant's effective because he is aware of everything is going on, and you can come into him in a dead sleep. An attack has happened on the front lines of his position, and he will get up and instantly know what to do. He was a decisive leader. Leaders have to have character, courage, integrity, and intellect in my book, and there are a lot of other things they need too, but those are absolutely essential. John McCain's character is just incredible. As Tom mentioned, he was offered an opportunity to go home. He was on the verge of dying. And he was offered a chance to go home and receive medical treatment, and at other times in other wars that might have been possible. But John knew the propaganda effects of him accepting early release, and he knew that there were some 200 of us who got there before him. He knew the impact it would have on his family's name, the legacy of his family, the Navy, everything that he believed in. It would be detrimental to that, but he would live. He chose the possibility of death. I don't know many people, much less politicians, who would dare do that. John McCain has integrity. He does not mind standing alone. As Governor Romer will tell you, there are not many politicians at all who like to stand alone. They don't like to be out there on controversial issues trying to do the right thing when everybody else is on the other side. It gets uncomfortable. John McCain's integrity comes to the forefront every living day he has. He is always out there leading the way. He had the prescience to realize that we had a problem with the financial markets 2 or 3 years ago. He tried to get the Congress to do something about it and was beaten down. He was an outcast. He's the person that said we can win in Iraq when nobody wanted to win. If we had followed the leadership of Obama and Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi, we would be out of Iraq today, and we would be a defeated nation, and we would suffer far beyond anything this financial crisis is going to do to us. That's John McCain. He has taken those kinds of positions throughout his life. He is doing it today. He has intellect. This guy knows more about world history than anyone I've ever met. He reads constantly. He is a smart man, notwithstanding the fact that he finished 5th in bottom of his class at the Naval Academy. I know him well enough to know, and I've talked to Chuck Larson, who finished #1 in his class, if I remember correctly, up in the top 5. Chuck Larson made 4 stars in the Navy, and he's a swell guy, and he said when they went through flight school together, John almost didn't get through flight school because in flight school you have to learn all these technical things like how the hydraulic systems work in the airplanes and you know, stuff that I didn't really like either. But John was over reading history books when he should have been studying that, so therefore he had difficulty passing the test he had to pass. This guy can talk to you endlessly about so many things. He is a smart man. He knows why the world is as it is, how it got to be this way, and what it's going to take in the way of courageous people and the United States of America to make things better. John is a dear friend of mine. His courage is unquestionable. We are about to elect the President of the United States, the leader of the free world. We have a generation now that has learned how to vote. They vote for the American Idol contestant that they like. Don't take that lightly. They know how to vote. Young people traditionally don't vote a lot. They will vote in this election. If they don't vote with their heads, we're in trouble. We, the nation, you, me, our children and grandchildren, we are in deep trouble. I ask each of you to please spend the next 42 days or whatever is left till November the 4th or 5th. I ask you to please talk to every single person you know in your family, in your church, in your neighborhood. in your community and people you know and communicate all over the country. Get your Christmas card list out. Write them a note. Call them. They have to understand how critical this election is. Barack Obama is a decent human being. His accomplishments are to be admired. He is not ready to be president. He is an empty shirt. He named me one critical decision he has made in his life. John McCain has a lifetime of making critical decisions. I know, and I could sit down and write out a list of 500 people who could stand here and talk to you for an hour about how they know John McCain and who he is. Name 5 people who could do that for Barack Obama. That has nothing to do with him being a good person. It's simply a measure of the fact that he has no experience. He is not ready to be President of the United States. We cannot afford amateur hour in the White House. Please talk to your friends and tell them to get out and vote for John McCain. And thank you so much for being here. We have a big job to do, and it's going to take you out there for us to win.